Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. The power of Son Goku was rising in an incredible way. So much with his power that he even opened portals to different dimensions. Goku, without saying a word, began with a ferocious attack, which of a great blow in the face of Gyutaro would send him to fly thousands of kilometers through the universe. But his attack would not end, since Goku began to fly at a speed invisible to all those of the multiverse. His speed was so fast that only a few flashes could be observed. Gyutaro would not be left behind. That's right, he would also release a great part of his power. In an instant, a great battle would begin. Neither of the two would worry about defense. Both would have direct hits. However, the one who had the more injured was Goku, because his power was not his real power, only a technique of energy increase. Meanwhile, in the dimension, Zeno-Sama and Mikoshin would come out, realizing in the same way everything that happened, Mikoshin would quickly cure Archon. Archon, now that you have recovered all of your energy, tell us, what the hell happened in this place? I don't know. The moment I left the dimension, I could see how great a sphere of ki was heading towards Kakarot-sama's family. I was ready to give my life. Until now, that I woke up again. I understand, Archon. Rest. Your power is still very low. What are we supposed to do? This is a megaversal threat. Kakarot-sama will lose. The power he's using is much greater than the one he showed us in the Void Dimension. It's a power beyond his limits. I know, but beings like us are not capable of doing anything. Even if we get close to one of his blows, it will reduce us to atoms. There's still an option. We must enter the Omniverse again. No, Archon! The former king of everything and the father of Zeno-Sama sealed that entire multiverse so that I would not be involved in total chaos with the true omnipresent gods. There's no other option. Or this way, Kakarot-sama would die. But we still have him. Kakarot-sama survives, he'll surpass all his limits. I must give everything in this move. Right, Archon. I'll trust you. I don't understand what you're talking about, my father. What does he have to do with this? We knew about the existence of omnipresent gods, not omnipotent gods, and the former king of everything sealed this whole multiverse so that it's not part of this omniverse. Omniverse? I don't understand anything at all. This is not the time to explain, but you, as his son, must be able to release the seal, or Kakarot-sama will die. I'll help my friend Goku. I'll not let him die. At that moment, a lightning would pass by their side. As Goku had been sent flying with a big hit, Gyutaro would start playing with Son Goku, giving him a beating and making him fly all over the multiverse. Goku's body looked like a ball from so many hits that Gyutaro gave him. You are nothing compared to me. You just turned out to be a poor worm. Goku's furious would stand straight up. However, most of his bones were broken. That's right, the power was beyond his limits, began to take its toll. Goku, without caring about this, began his attack. Goku looked like a beast. Since he did not reason, he could only hear some roars when they collided with blows. You are ready, Zeno-Sama. You yourself could realize that the power of Kakarot is not enough. I'm ready. With the right that my father, the former king of all, gives me, I invest the Omniversal Seal annulment, insertion to the Omniverse. At that moment, a gigantic pentagram would form all over the place. That's right, at that moment, lightning would fall all over the multiverse of Zeno-Sama. Gyutaro would not take it seriously. No matter what you do, when I finish with the life of this worm, you'll be next. There's only 5% left of this seal to be completely broken. Hold on, Goku. I've done it! It's broken. The entire multiverse of Zeno-Sama at that moment was teleported, where millions of galaxies, universes, and planets were found. But that was not the most impressive thing, since at that moment, thousands of omnipotent powers could be felt.
What the fuck? Where are we? Why do I feel the powers of beings that overshadow me?
In a faraway place, a beautiful girl that's running through the corridors of a castle. The moment she arrives with a green-haired girl.
What's wrong, Miyuki? Kifura-sama, the power of the omnipotent god Kakarot-sama has returned to give me a sign, but his power doesn't compare to that before.
Kifura was very upset and would raise his power in an incredible way, making the castle explode with his aura in the form of a dragon.
What are you saying, Miyuki? That's impossible! If this is a damn joke, I swear I'll exterminate you! Kifura-sama, I would never joke with such a delicate matter as Kakarot-sama. Please, concentrate and feel a power similar to his.
Kifura would concentrate, realizing the words of his guardian angel were correct. Far away from his omniverse, a power that was diminishing rapidly was similar to the power of Kifura-sama. Miyuki and Kifura would quickly leave the castle, heading to where the great battle was. Meanwhile, with the battle, Goku was receiving the beating of his life. The power of the Omega Kaioken was no longer enough. That's right, not even the power beyond his limits was able to confront Gyotaro.
Curse, no being has come. From what I understood, when a new omniverse regenerates, a powerful being welcomes it.
I know that guy is more powerful than me, but I won't let him kill Kakarot-sama.
Mikosha would throw himself against Gyotaro, who wouldn't move an inch.
No matter what you do today, this miserable Kakarot will no longer be part of the world of the living. But before that, hit me again, since I have felt how you were able to tickle me.
At that moment, when Gyotaro was confidently waiting for Mikoshin's blow, an extremely strong blow would send him to the edge of the Omniverse. Mikosha was not able to see a thing, only to notice that when Gyotaro was no longer in front of her, an incredible pressure would fall all over that place. Kifura would approach Kakaroto's body, staring at him. Kifura would embrace him tightly.
So, you come to my aid, dear sister.
Goku, after finishing these words, would be unconscious because the power he had used was brutal. All his ki veins were exhausted and his bones were broken. Gyotaro would return, and very annoyed, he would stand in front of that woman.
I don't care that you're a woman. I swear I'll annihilate you.
I want to see that. You have an incredible power, omnipotent god, but you must know that these powers are very tiny in comparison to the beings that possess omnipotence.
Gyotaro would throw himself against that woman. Although his body warned him that he was in danger, Gyotaro did not pay attention to the warnings of his being. Gyotaro, at that moment of colliding his fist with the face of death, his arm would begin to disintegrate.
What did you do to me?
I didn't do anything out of this world. I only increased the heat of my aura a little. Or did I hurt you with so little?
This bastard has an amazing power. I must flee from this place or I'll be the death of me.
Gyotaro begins to fly through the multiverse at great speed. Gyotaro had moved thousands of kilometers away. However, that distance for a being that treads the omnipotent range, meaning nothing. That's right. Kifura would be in front of Gyotaro in the blink of an eye.
You damned worm almost ended my brother's life. Right now, you'll feel what suffering is just by my mere presence.
Kira would increase his power a little more, making Gyotaro not able to breathe. Meanwhile, on his planet, Leviathan was observing everything that was happening.
I must help Gyotaro-sama, or that bitch will kill him.
Leviathan would leave the place at maximum speed, but not before taking a small flask. Meanwhile, in another Omniverse, a very strange guy would stand up.
So, a new Omniverse has joined, but apparently it's Ziku's multiverse. Wow, millions of years without knowing of your existence, traitorous demon.
Returning to Kifura, she was just dodging Gyotaro's blows with extreme ease.
It's time to end your life.
At that moment when Kifura was about to end Gyotaro's life, a poison spread all over the place.
I know what this poison for someone of your level is insignificant. Let's see what happened to Kakaroto's insect.
Kifura, noticing the words of the girl who had arrived, without thinking twice, at a supreme speed would take Kakaroto and Mikoshin.
Miyuki, immediately, take all the remaining ones.
Miyuki, with one of her techniques, would wrap them in a barrier and then would head towards their planet. The moment they arrived, everyone would ask for answers, since even that battle, the gods and angels were affected as collateral damage.
I know you must be confused. We'll explain everything that happened.
First of all, what do you mean you're Kakaroto's sister?
That's right, millions of years ago, my brother fought against an immortal god, but apparently he was powerful enough not to die. But from a dimensional rift teleported him to the multiverse where you come from. After that, I don't know anything.
Miyuki would get into conversation.
From what I could investigate and realize that Kakarot-sama, after his battle was on the verge of death, he could not remove his wounds, so he decided to be reborn in this multiverse after millions of years.
Everyone was surprised, but the more astonished was Vegeta.
So, Kakaroto had already belonged to the omnipresent rank before we met him.
You're right.
Meanwhile, the Leviathan and Gyotaro had returned to their planet, and the best specialists in medicine were doing everything to save him. But everything seemed lost, since the energy with which they had injured him belonged to another omniverse much superior to theirs. However, at that moment, a Wild would cross all the barriers that possessed the multiverse of Gyotaro. It was Ryota, one of the omnipotent gods of the omniverse to which they had joined.
I have the necessary power to kill him, but they must swear loyalty to me. We will do whatever you ask, but please, save Gyotaro-sama.
Ryota would expel a surprising power, and at that moment he would come out of Gyotaro, who had been reduced to atoms. Leviathan would attack with annoyance.
You said you'd save him, you damn liar!
Before judging me and directing you towards me, finish observing the whole process. I couldn't just eliminate the attacks of that woman since her power surpasses me, but I can do this. At that moment, Ryota would jog his fingers and make Gyotaro appear in front of everyone. I'm able to control the life and death of beings that have a pending revenge in this world. This guy wants the same to me to finish with Kakaroto and his whole damn family. Gyotaro would stand up.
What happened? I thought I was dead.
You were, but I've given you a second chance, so you better be ready.
I owe you my life.
Do whatever you ask me to do. Just get ready, since you and I have lost a battle, but not the war. Prepare, Zaru family. Ryota, the omnipotent and omnipresent god, is still alive. The omnipotent power of Ryota has been able to bring Gyotaro back to life. That's right, the power of that being that had arrived was so much that it wasn't compared to beings of those multiverses. Meanwhile, in the universe of Kakarot's sister, Kefura was very worried because his brother did not wake up. However, at that time, the Prince of the Saiyans would approach.
Kakarot, you're the most amazing warrior I've ever met. I don't think this battle will be the last one.
Vegeta, despite everything that happened, you're still here.
Mr. Goku, we are all here with you. We've never betrayed you. We all suffered from your father's angelic technique. He was the only one who really betrayed you. Goku at that moment would be out of combat again. That's right, Goku's body was in very bad condition.
It would be better to let Mr. Goku rest. That'll help him.
Will Kakarot recover?
I will see about the spite of how badly they're getting along. You worry too much about my little brother. Don't worry. The only thing he needs is to rest. Meanwhile, in a faraway multiverse was Ryota next to Leviathan.
We must increase our battle level. Kefura's power is incredible, but legends say that the power of his younger brother Kakarot's unmatched.
That can't be true, since I myself was able to defeat him effortlessly. I would have been able to end his life if that damn one hadn't interfered.
You didn't fight with the real Kakarot. You fought with his second divine root.
Second divine root?
I can see that you have no idea about the omnipotent world. I'll explain it to you in a quick and simple way. All of us have a divine root, either mortal level or omnipotent level, but the Kakarot insect is said to have 7 roots.
How is it possible to have 7 divine roots? Do all omnipotent beings possess 7 divine roots?
Of course not. For that very reason his power is so great, because by uniting his 7 roots, he completes an incredible level of omnipotence, being able to end the whole omnipotent world with a single snap of his fingers if he wanted to.
In that case, we must not allow him to reach all the divine roots. How can we stop him? For if he does, we'll be finished.
Not completely. After millions of years, I was able to get 5 divine roots. I had to die 5 times and cultivate all my power again, but I currently have 5 divine roots.
But that damn Saiyan still has 2 more of them. You can still defeat him?
Ryota at that moment would have a very serious look on his face. Even though he has 7 divine roots like the legendary Kakarot has, I wouldn't feel confident enough to beat him, because he is a formidable opponent.
That's the same reason we must train. I understand everything you said, but if there are only 3 of us, they'll tear us to pieces. There's too many.
We're not alone. Murder Squad! At that moment, hundreds of soldiers would step forward. They are elite warriors from all multiverses. However, at that moment, a great light would likewise fall on the castle they were in.
Well, Ryota, are you planning to leave me out of this fun battle?
Zenitsu, what the hell are you doing here? How did you find out about Kakarot's return?
That miserable monkey made fun of me hundreds of times, so I wanted to end his pathetic life with my own hands. And I'm not the only one.
That same moment, 3 warriors of the same form arrived. They were the other omnipotent gods who were a little terrified of the power of Kakarot.
All of us are very worried because the power of Kakarot is not the only problem. The multiverse of the traitor demon Ziku, the father of Zeno-Sama, has returned. His level of omnipotence was so great that he could face Kakarot.
That's right. Ziku is the only warrior to be able to face Kakarot individually, since all of us had to unite at least 5 omnipotent gods to be able to give him a scratch.
You do not worry. Kakarot's power is currently only that of a simple child. His omnipotent power is not even at 5% of the power he had before.
What Neen says is right, but we must not let this great opportunity we have pass us by, because even Kefura's power has increased. Now it can be a real problem. I know I'm not at the level of all you, but I promise to train to be of help in this battle. We won't let that miserable Saiyan regain his power.
That's right. We must be ready and fight in every possible way. Remember, this is not a tournament.
All kinds of traps and advantages, we can use them.
That wretch won't even get his 5 root back, since I'll be the one to take his heart.
Meanwhile, returning to Kefura's planet in this place, Kakarot, about 5 days, had awakened. Goku was very confused since his last memory to use a power beyond his limits to be able to defeat Gyutaro. At that moment, Vegeta had entered the room.
Kakarot, I can tell you finally woke up. I never thought I'd say this, but you don't know how happy I am to see you.
Don't say stupid things, Vegeta. You're the Prince of the Saiyans, so you shouldn't feel this kind of stupid things.
Kakarot, I've always changed. I can feel a cold essence. However, deep inside him, he still has that kind and caring being that I knew.
Kakarot would ask for some explanation, since in the last days all his memories seemed to have been erased. Vegeta, without problem, would explain everything that happened. In these days, leaving a little surprise to Goku to know that this one had a brother who dominated the power of the omnipotence. Nevertheless, all were not good news, since approximately 2 days ago, they had felt the power of all the omnipotent gods in the same specific point, and after some moments, they all disappeared. At that moment, Kefura would enter the room where Kakarot was resting, being equally surprised to see his brother awake.
Brother! After such a long time, I'm able to see you again.
When Miyukui informed me that you were alive, I couldn't believe it. Actually, I don't remember you, but the moment you're near me, I can feel nostalgia in my heart.
That happens because all your divine roots are not yet open, and for one reason, your memories are scattered.
At that moment, Goku in his stable mind was able to observe thousands of battles he had with Kefura. That's right, they really knew each other for millions of years. How can I unite all my divine roots? I want to get all my memories back.
For that, the only thing we can do is to increase your power. Each divine root requires a specific level of power. When you reach the required level, your power and memories will come back.
Then I shouldn't waste time. I better train. But first I want to see how strong I've become in all this time. Goku in the same place would begin to increase his powers, appearing again his Omni marks.
No, not here! You'll destroy my entire castle!
Goku, without caring about what his sister had told him, continued to increase his power. His muscles had become a little bigger. The most surprised was Vegeta, whose maximum power was the transformation of the Ultra Ego. Goku, from one moment to another, released all the power retained at that time, and to everyone's surprise, Goku had been able to access his 3rd root. At that moment, all the power began to be transmitted throughout his body.
Even though you're a now simple trash, you'll never cease to amaze me with your level of increasing power. You increase it 100 times faster than any other being.
Goku in a few moments was able to balance all his power, being able to dominate it completely. However, at that precise moment, Goku would throw a sphere of energy towards Vegeta, which at that moment would feel an immense pain throughout his body.
Oh, what the hell, Kakarot? What's wrong with you, you damn insect?
Master all that power and make it part of your own power. You're the Prince of the Saiyans. I trust you, Vegeta.
Vegeta at that moment would pass to Super Saiyan Blue. However, all his power would continue to increase in a big way. At that moment, Mikoshin and Archon would enter from where he felt that great power.
What's going on? The power released from Vegeta's body is not normal.
It is very similar to what Kakarot-sama did with us. It's helping him to break all his limits. That's right, at that moment, everyone was surprised to see how Vegeta, at that moment, would begin to reach the same transformation as Goku. That's right, the Omni marks that had appeared in the same way throughout his body after a big explosion would blow up some trees and mountains. You could see the Prince of the Saiyan in the long-awaited transformation of the Omni Super Saiyan.
Thank you, Kakarot, for this power. From now on, I promise to increase my power more than before.
Son Goku, despite everything that has happened, I will not stay behind. I was chosen millions of years ago as a supreme god of destruction. Tell me, what do you think of this? Beerus at that moment began to raise his power in a great way, making the whole universe where they were shaking. That's Beerus. He had agreed to his new transformation. Years ago, you were the Saiyan god of my dream, so now I want to see how much you've raised your power. Beerus at that moment would throw himself against Son Goku, being able to connect his punch successfully. However, Beerus' punch had not been able to move him a single centimeter.
Hundreds of years ago, I saw your power as an unattainable, but that's all you could do with 100% of all your power? But you're right about one thing. Your power compared to mere gods has increased greatly, but with me, you don't stand a chance.
Goku at that moment would deliver a powerful blow to his stomach, making Beerus return to normal and fall to the ground out of combat.
Wow, I only used 19% of all my power. I must restrain myself a little with my allies. This power is explicitly to finish those bastards.
Well, Mr. Goku has increased his power again. The power he currently possesses is even capable of taking out a king with just one finger. Whis' words would surprise all the other angels and gods who did not believe the power that this mortal had reached. However, the god Champa would approach Archon.
Mighty rebel god Archon, we wish to be of help in this battle.
How can we perform a fusion like the one you have? Are you guys serious?
That's right. Even if my brother's most powerful god wasn't able to give battle to Son Goku, we'll be of no help against the real enemies.
Of course I'll help you. You'll be the second merger of more than two beings. All the gods and angels will unite for good of all the multiverses.
Okay.
At that moment, Archon would create a pentagram in which all the gods and angels would enter.
With the power of these 24 beings,
unite them into one. Take every drop of their power to create a better universe. At that moment, everything would begin to spin and a gigantic power was being released from the center of the pentagram. That's right, the birth of a supreme level being had been a success. The great ritual had finished. From the silhouette of a warrior could be observed. That's right, the power of that being had appeared would leave everyone surprised. Since the whole place seemed to be destitute, fireballs fell all over the sky. It was a symptom of an extremely powerful being. After a great light, a warrior could be observed.
It seems that they have succeeded with the divine unit. The power they reached is incredible. I can affirm that they can even defeat a king with very little difficulty. Well, gods, apparently I wasn't the only one who's trained.
A warrior by the name of Kiri would step forward.
I thank you, mighty god Archon. Now with this body and power, I should be able to increase my power much more efficiently.
All warriors who want to join us in this great battle are welcome, because the battle we will face will be the ultimate battle. If we really want results, we must train in another dimension, where time passes much slower to take advantage of the time we have.
Mikoshin's right. With this method, we could get better results.
Mikoshin at that moment, with his great power, would make a big door appear, which releases an incredible pressure just to be a dimension.
This dimension is not only for training, it's a cursed room, because it'll make your mind hallucinate. You must even increase your mental power.
You don't have to worry about that. We'll increase all our strengths without exception.
At that moment, a big door would open. When it did, you could see a similar place in the underworld.
That's right, that place was difficult to breathe for the weakest beings, which at the moment were Kiri, Zeno-Sama, and Mikoshin.
As it is a training, I'll not help you. We must all get to that place and begin to raise our level of battle.
Each warrior had different training, however the difficulty of each training was overwhelming, since even a normal king would not be able to withstand the pressure that this place released. Meanwhile, with Goku, he was in his base state meditating. That's right, Son Goku's main goal was to dominate all his power, especially his internal ki, since increasing his power directly to the third root without having trained enough wore him out too much. At that moment, Goku would go into the depths of his being able to observe a warrior identical to him. Goku would be put on guard.
Who are you? And how's it possible that you're inside me?
I knew that someday this moment would come. I'm your father, and I left a great part of my power in your brain network, so that when you need to access your other divine roots, you'll be able to do it.
Are you really my father? I would never absorb that power because if I absorbed it, you'd disappear from here.
You must do it, my son, because if you don't do it, the power will disappear because with time, the power decreases instead of increasing if we don't train.
Thank you very much, Father. I promise you will, when all of this is over, that I'll revive you.
I trust you, my son, but don't trust me since I'm a spirit of the same form. I'm capable of realizing things that you're not. A being by the name of Ryota that appeared you defeated millions of years ago has returned.
I don't know who Ryota is. I've never fought with a being like him.
I don't know, my son, but don't be confident. When you recover your divine roots, you'll even be able to recover the other memories of each divine root.
Bardock at that moment would pass in the same way to the Super Saiyan Infinity touching the shoulder of Son Goku. At the moment of doing it, the real body of Goku would begin to expel a little divine impressive, being so much the power that expelled that all the other warriors would approach Son Goku.
What's happening to my brother? We've only been here for a few weeks. It's not possible that he reached all this power in such a short time.
It seems Kakarot-sama is recovering his divine root. He's currently at his 5th divine root.
Well, that's impossible. He doesn't have to reach a specific power to get him back. If you're doing it for a forbidden power, his body can even explode.
I don't think Goku's stupid enough to use a forbidden power, since he has shown us that he has experience as a veteran fighter. At that moment, Goku would increase his power in an unbelievable way.
6th root unlocked! 7th root unlocked! At last, all my memories are complete again!
At that moment, a gigantic explosion would be created in the whole place. At that moment of dissipating all the smoke, Goku would be at his maximum power, could already leave, even surprising Kefura, who believed that he had already surpassed the power of his brother.
Sister, after millions of years, I've recovered all my memories. That damn Ryota never died. Apparently he's been planning something to annihilate us.
Kakarot-sama, with all due respect, that's impossible since you and Kefura turned him into dust of the universe.
That's what I thought, but he's not in his original body.
I could use the body much more powerful of a race, so his power must be increased greatly. That doesn't matter. We already defeated him once, so doing it a second time won't be so complicated. Don't you think so, brother?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Kefura, but the power that Ryota currently possesses is capable of treating us as simple children. I feel that even surpasses my 7 divine roots.
I can't believe it. That guy's a monster.
Doesn't matter who the opponent is. We Saiyans have no opponents. We'll tear him to shreds, or am I wrong, Kakarot?
Of course not, Vegeta. We'll finish with all the evil of that damn god, and we'll not leave anything that remembers him. He's the fundamental pillar of evil, since the negative energy that he releases is one of the containments all the minor universes.
At that moment, all the warriors began again with their furtive training. Meanwhile, with the negative omnipotent gods, all of them were training in the same way, but unlike the Saiyan warriors, all these gods were absorbing all the negative energy of all the universes. That is, the omnipotent gods were increasing their powers thanks to other beings.
I've never wanted to absorb the powers of other warriors, but this situation warrants it. We'll not face an amateur. The subject we face is nothing more and nothing less than the Super Saiyan Infinity Kakarot.
That's right, Zenitsu. We must not trust him, because if we do, we could get off very badly. The power of that pathetic monkey since time immemorial was incredible. We must go all out.
Don't worry, my comrades. This time we'll finish with that damned Ozaru, leaving no trace. I recommend when we finish with that cursed one, we finish with the whole Saiyan race, since a being as annoying as Kakarot can be born. I think the idea of this is excellent. If all Saiyans could become as powerful as omnipotent gods, it'd be a danger.
That's what we'll do, but the main enemy is Kakarot, so absorb all the negative energy that your bodies can bear. When you can't bear it anymore, train and observe more power until the time of the battle arrives.
I hope you're ready for your death. After so many millions of years, your definitive death is near. We'll not leave any roots so that you'll not be able to be reborn again.
All the omnipotent gods would continue absorbing all the negative power. Meanwhile, in the Inferno Room, all the warriors had achieved great results. But the ones that stood out the most were Goku, Kefura, and Vegeta. That's right, the three Saiyan warriors had broken all their limits, obtaining extremely powerful powers. They did not stay there, since every day they would continue training more and more. When approximately 150 years passed inside that room, all the warriors were ready. At that moment, again, the Great Door would have been observed to all the universes, and at the time of leaving, all they feel the power of the omnipotent gods, which gave off an incredible negative power, since even all the universes were trembling.
Izuki, while we were inside out here, how long did it take?
Give me a moment, Kakarot-sama. Approximately 2 years passed.
So that's why those bastards also increased their power. I even feel Gyotaro's power. I've had enough. Today we'll put an end to it.
I don't think that you need to be that hasty. We must recover all our energies to be at 100%.
You don't have to worry about that. Mikoshin, take care of it.
At that moment, Mikoshin with Bakulo was able to heal all the warriors and recover all their powers. That's right, Mikoshin, being a supreme angel, had this ability, and when he reached the omnipotent power, he was able to return all the power they had initially.
I'm ready to fish with those bastards.
Me too, Vegeta.
At that moment, Goku and Vegeta would quickly pass to Super Saiyan Infinity, calling the attention of all the negative gods. But in less than a minute, all the gods would be in front of the other warriors. Ryota would step forward.
After millions of years, I see you again, you cursed Saiyan. This time I'll disintegrate you with my best attack.
I want to see you try. You don't have the necessary power.
Gyutaro at that moment was about to speak, however Goku at lightning speed was able to take him by the head, starting to crash him by everything that was around him. That's right, Goku, the beings he hated the most were Gyutaro, who almost killed his whole family. Ryota always humiliated his sister Kefura. Goku, in a matter of 30 seconds, had left him on the verge of death, leaving him on the ground. At that moment, Nin, a little surprised, would say to himself,
"The power this Saiyan has acquired is incredible. He was even able to finish with that Gyutaro. He was weak, but he already reached the omnipotent level."
I knew the power of the legendary Kakarot wasn't just a game, but tell me, what do you think about this? I hope you're ready.
Ryota at that moment would begin to collect all the power of the four multiverses, including omnipotent beings of low power and multiversal beings that had not yet reached the low level of omnipotence. That's right, Ryota's body was rising to unreal scales. Goku at that moment, without giving time to Gyutaro, would make him disappear with a sphere of energy. However, at that moment, Leviathan Furious would be launched against Goku, being eliminated with a single attack by the Prince of the Saiyans.
This battle's for omnipotent beings, not for simple worms like you.
At that moment, both sides would observe each other. Without wasting time, all would launch into attack. That's right, it was a pitched battle. Throughout the universe could only be seen energy spheres. Collisions by the clash of their fists. After only 2 minutes of battle, all the universes were about to explode. That's right, the power they were releasing endangered existence itself. Goku at that moment would increase his power much more to end the life of Zenitsu, which prevented him from passing to Ryota, which was being charged with energy. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, a god which surpassed all existence so far had awakened.
After millions of years, a being being able to awaken my interest. Let's see who it is.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
Goku.